Hello, and thank you for watching the beginning of the second season of Finding Success with Steve Franco. Today we have Sarah Noonan with thegoodlifedestin.com with us, and great to have you. You are one of the most interesting and creative persons I've met here in Destin.
Oh, thank you.
For real. Sarah is an author, photographer, blogger, and businesswoman. Tell us about, I guess thegoodlifedestin.com and, how this whole thing started. You're starting with the photography and just the beginning. Tell us what you're doing now.
So my website is thegoodlifedestin.com. I started it because I moved to Destin in 2015, and prior to that, I owned a flower shop. So my whole life was flowers and and being a business owner and having a retail location, and it was all very stressful, and I kind of started over, moving to Destin in 2015, and I was new here. I didn't know anything, and I also had, a big chunk of my life, which was the flower shop, and all those hours I put into that was kind of gone, and I had to reinvent myself and start over in a new career. And I didn't really think of the Good Life Destin as a career. I thought, well, I'm going to start. I was just interested in starting a blog at the time, and I just thought I would sort of explore Destin and take people with me on that and say, here's what I found, here's some pictures. I was not a photographer at the time. I had never picked up a camera at that point. But cell phone pictures back then were really not what they are now. Mm-hmm. And so I started taking pictures for my blog, and I thought that they were ugly and that I wasn't good at it. So I just picked up a kind of a cheap, digital camera, and I started taking just classes online for photography, and then I learned photography. I got really into it, and really just started taking a lot of pictures, posting them on Instagram, and just trying to write these little blog articles. And but then the photography kind of took over, and I got really into it, and I started to get a lot of people that liked my photos, and so I just kind of kept going with it. And so for the last years, I've been doing all this stuff to just sort of, creating products has been kind of what I've just started to do over the last couple years. Mm-hmm. And I'm really just trying to give people what would help them vacation in Destin is all. And I really just create products that I would want. And I am someone who's always kind of liked to travel. Right. But I also feel like I can relate to like the average Destin tourist, because a lot of times they come here over and over again. They're not one-time visitors, and I'm like that where I vacation, and I read the blogs from where I go and follow the content and try to learn more and more about the place. And so I was just trying to do that for Destin, and so I just create products that I would want if I were traveling here. And for me, that is like a book. Yeah. And I love jigsaw puzzles, so it's always been just kind of a thought that someday I would have, when I started photography, that day there would be jigsaw puzzles, and just kind of went from there. I think up a product and I create it.
Well, and let me chime in there, because I think what makes, Sarah, I said this to you prior, I've not met anyone that has captured Destin like you have. And that's not just for tourists, but it's also for locals. It's for everybody. For any of you that have not been to thegoodlifedestin.com to see what Sarah has captured and created for this community, you need to do so. Your photography is exceptional. You capture some of the most breathtaking moments that I've seen anyone capture in Destin. Everything from the natural beauty and some of the scenes you capture in the sunrises with your Sunrise Club in video to some of the incredible shots that you've taken in still photography of nature and some of the natural beauties, and then the history, the fishing, and all the activities and the entertainment. I mean, you've captured Destin in a way that nobody has, and you've taken this interest in this hobby, and to your own words to me, were you created all this content, and it's like figuring out what to do with it, and you're publishing it now in the way of books, and we'll talk about the specific books and so forth, and in puzzles that people can make for gifts, and obviously people can buy your prints, and you have this following now. I think you told me the other day, how many followers do you have on Good Life Destin?
I guess on Facebook and Instagram, it's, I don't even know. I think like maybe 9,000 on Instagram.
That's what I'm saying.
And then almost that on Facebook. I'm not sure.
Right.
But
that's a lot of people. I'm saying, and that's just.
They're all people that love Destin.
I love Destin. So. And I have to say, I met Sarah, and it was from the moment I met you and you started telling me these things, I picked up a book here, and I don't do this often, but I'm going to show you guys. This is called The Ultimate Destin Bucket List, 100 Must-Do Activities in the World's Luckiest Fishing Village. And this is the book. Sarah wrote this book. It's an incredible writing, because you've captured, and as we'll get to in a second, jokingly say, I've told Sarah that 100 things to do. If she hangs out with me once a week for the next, she's going to be sick of me after the next 2 years trying every one of these activities through Destin, right?
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic book for people traveling to Destin, to the Emerald Coast here, and of all the different things you can try. Again, if I was coming here, there's nothing better than this book to kind of pick out what fits you. And I was actually thinking as a local to myself when I was looking through the book here recently, again, preparing for the podcast, I'm like, man, when I want to do something in Destin, I'm just going to refer to the book too. Like, I just as a jogging my memory of the things, that we know that were there. But
and a lot of locals have said that to me, that they just have it as kind of like a date night book. They just leaf through and say like what random activity we should try. And I do think there's an element of that. Like when you live somewhere, you don't tend to explore your own place.
Right.
And we do live in a tourist town. And as locals, most locals don't do the tourist things, but sometimes it's fun to just go pick an activity and do it. And that book was really the first product that I created. And it did take me a long time because I work too, but I just wrote a little bit each day. I committed myself to, and I think that's important when I decided to write a book, but I just knew it wasn't realistic that I was going to could just dedicate a month to writing a book. So I just wrote a little bit each day. And and the only thing I focused on was writing the book that I would want if I was traveling somewhere. And for me, that's just something simple, like not super confusing or complicated to navigate around. And I broke it up by the different areas, by Okaloosa Island, Destin Harbor, Miramar Beach, and kind of Sandestin. And so that way, if people are in a certain area, they can just look for activities there. And I just tried to say, well, what are the kind of the 100 things that are things you could do in Destin. I did mostly leave like restaurants out because I wanted to focus on like specific activities. So, but there are some restaurants in there. And then, but this is all just like what I've felt like. Nothing is promoted. Like nobody asked to be in the book. Nobody knew they were going to be in the book. This is just my, just my advice on, from doing a lot of tourist activities here.
So I want to change to the goodlifedestin.com on the Sunrise second, but I want to show you the book one more time. This is the book that if anybody wants to get this is a great thing to have for yourself as a local. And if you're a tourist coming to Destin and you're looking at this, I highly recommend it. So anyways.
And you can get it on Amazon or on my website.
So Amazon or the website. Another thing that's been interesting is your Sunrise Club, and your commitment. We talked about it. We're both night owls by nature.
Yeah.
And you were telling me, I'll let you explain it. But you since I guess last spring, May have been up for sunrise almost every single day, basically, or every day, and committed to do so for a year. to capture the beauty of the sunrise on the beach here in Destin, and share that with so many people in a video. It's a live video cam, I think about 15, 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that. What inspired you to do that? And again, another great thing, anybody local loves it. People from living abroad, not here, that want to feel that beach feeling in the morning. But
Yeah.
tell us more about it.
So my Sunrise Club project sounds a little crazy to some people, especially to people like myself who are night owls. And but I will say that it started right after the beaches shut down for COVID, and they were shut down for a couple months. I think a lot of us kind of appreciated what we had lost, and even if we didn't go to the beach that much before then. And
Right.
then when the beaches were back, I was excited about it. I had wanted to do something live on Facebook. I just felt like it would be a better way to connect with the people who follow my content, but I didn't specifically want to be on camera myself. So,
Right.
so I just got this idea that I would do this Sunrise Club every morning, a live stream on Facebook, and which was just kind of crazy because at the time the sunrise was at 5:45 back in May, and and I work, I'm busy, and I just thought, and that's why I didn't do Sunset Club, is because I knew I wouldn't be able to commit. The only time I really could say, okay, I don't have anything scheduled, is at 6 a.m. So I just decided to do it, and it was both an exercise in, hey, I'm sure this would help me just get up early, not stay up all so late editing, and then also connect with people and just kind of have a little club where I didn't do it expecting that I'd have a lot of people watching it. I just thought this will be fun. I'll stream the sunrise. If a couple people want to tune in then and see the sunrise, they can. But what it's turned into is just a little morning club. I have the same regular people every morning, and then a few other people might drop in if they've got a
Right.
vacation coming up. And I think it's turned into so much more, though, for all of us. Like, we get to see how the beach really changes every single day. I do it every single day. And I get up and I ride my bike to the beach. I don't live on the beach. I
Right.
ride my bike to the beach, and I stream the sunrise for about 20 minutes. And it has been amazing to see like how different the beach can be every single day. The different like wildlife we've seen dolphins and stingrays, and there's times a year where we'll see the stingrays every single day, and then or there's like jellyfish, and we'll see dolphins and pelicans, and it's just weird how it has changed my view of the beach. Also, like, I've started following the surf reports. I've had to like watch the weather, and it's just amazing how different the beach can be every day. And I think for visitors to Destin too, the people who follow my page are planning a vacation, and I think they just can watch Sunrise Club and say, okay, well, that's how it is in October, or that's how it is in July, or like in July, we can tell you, like, out of 30 days in July, I mean, like 28 of them were crystal clear water, you
Right.
know, and so it's like people are like, okay, July, the water was pretty clear, it's been a little stormy in September, and yeah, so it's just a great way to just kind of document, like, how's the beach every day. And then for me, it was also a good way to start doing more beach photography, because
And I was going to say that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I wanted to hit on, make sure I hit on too. Excuse me, is your photography is exceptional. I mean, and part of that Good Life, Destin, and the moments you capture with like I said, whether it's the sunrise, whether it's the natural beauty with some of the different animals and all of it, even some of the stuff where you capture some of the storm stuff. I mean, you've got so many cool things that you capture with your photography. Tell us about that, and what inspires you. Walk us through what inspires you, and how your quest to capture this content has impacted you by what you've experienced and seen.
So I think the beach photography has been good for me because the photography is basically, like I said, I picked it up in 2015, but I really thought that I was so bad at it that I needed to like overcompensate and take a ton of classes. And so I just started reading everything I could. I just thought I was terrible at photography. And I didn't know anything. But I took so many classes on
Right.
photography, and I just kind of, I just wanted to learn everything I could, and I started upgrading my equipment, and then it just became really, it was, and to be honest, there was, I was going through a divorce. I had lost my flower shop. I had lost my mom. There was just a lot going on in my life where I was, and then I moved to this new town where I had been in Pensacola for so long, and I had this community, and I had all this stuff, and I came to Destin, and I just felt like, where am I? I don't have any friends here. I don't have, but I moved here with my partner and then was promptly divorced. But anyway, so the point is that there were just times that like kind of what would get me out of bed and get me kind of like doing stuff is because people were following my photography, and they loved to see my Destin pictures. So it was like I couldn't really figure out what to do for myself except for like work my job and like think of what's my new life path. But I just started wanting to share the Destin pictures with people, and because they liked them, and I it was just how I could connect with people at the time, and it built into all this other stuff. But that's how the photography started. But the main photography that I love to do is like I love the fireworks. I love fireworks photography is by far my most exciting photography. It's my main thing. It's the thing I put all my time into learning and practicing. That's my favorite thing. And I've ended up doing some stuff for the fireworks company and stuff like that with my photography. And that's what I love to do. And I love to walk around the harbor and take pictures of the people and the tourists. I actually love the tourism scene and just seeing everybody having fun and enjoying Destin and doing all that stuff. So the Sunrise Club helped me, I guess, a little bit break out of that and get into like also post like nature and beach photos and stuff like that. But that's all. I love to shoot the harbor and the boats and the events and just people having fun on vacation. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's what the photography is. And then it just turned into more,
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's incredible, and the books, the puzzles, the prints. I mean, the way you capture it, and what's also impressive is, as a businesswoman, you're very impressive in terms of how you've taken your being able to capture this incredible content over these now years, and qualifying all these great places to see and people to learn from your experiences. And as a businesswoman, you've learned how to monetize it. I mean, you're now able to put it in, not by trying to make much money, but I'm saying you're able to actually put it in something which is what entrepreneurs want to have. It's the opportunity that you've taken a passion and now been able to figure out how to also make it where you can make a living and provide products, great resources for the community, and still, make a business out of it. So I think that's been really impressive.
Well, that came naturally to me after having a shop to make products and put them out there. But the thing is, like, attention on for my photography and social media, I just always looked at that like, okay, I really want to have something in physical form, because even though I have learned how to be in the digital age and do the website and do all that stuff, I really I'm a practical person, and I like to have like books or things I can use or puzzles or things I can give as a gift. So that's just my personality. So I've just tried to take my photography and put it into products that I think people would like.
It's awesome. And I was going to say the last part, and I know you do the blogging, so you do a lot of blogging. In fact, thank you for kind of tie that into. You did a very nice blog for us for Beachwork, so that was super kind of you to do for us. And I know you do blogging for I guess a number of different things for this.
If I find something that I think is great, I just write about it and tell people, here's. And my articles that I write are anything on like how to catch the water taxi to like where I've put a lot of detail into like where to watch the fireworks and it's always, I just think of what I would want, and I just know if I go to a town, I'm searching for information because I don't want to have the one fireworks show while I'm on vacation and I don't know where's the best place to watch and I don't have a good view or something like that. So I just and same thing with Beachworks. I started coming here and I loved it so much that I just wanted to write about it.
No, absolutely. So that leads me into Beachwork. So kind of as we kind of wrap things down a little bit, it's it's a pleasure having you here. Really do enjoy it and our conversations and learning about yourself and all the things we've talked about today. I guess a few questions about Beachworks, and because you are working over here, and I get to spend time with you, or we get to spend time with you here. How has Beachworks impacted your pursuits and interest, and how would you describe your experience, I guess, working here, being here with us, the environment, and kind of go, how'd you
Yeah,
describe that?
so basically, I think that like anybody who is an entrepreneur or self-employed or anything like that, the benefits of that is that you get to work for yourself, and some people are just meant to do that, and I believe I'm one of those people, just because it comes naturally to me to kind of like create things and have ideas and do my own work, but there's also a lot of downsides to it, and one of them is kind of a lot of the isolation that can come from self-employment, and then also like working from home is really it's hard for me, even though I live alone, but it's still hard for me,
Right.
to like stay focused. Basically, I think there's a lot of great things about having a job and working in an office, because since I left my flower shop, that was one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to like have a real job but the downsides of that are working for someone else. So I just think Beachwork kind of gives you the option to be self-employed and be a writer, be a photographer, be a blogger, be everything everybody is here, but also do it in the environment of an office,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then I also don't have to use my house as like a workspace and feel like I'm always there. So now I enjoy my house when I get home, and
Right.
and I just kind of like being out in the world, but I was feeling before this, I was just feeling, I guess, kind of isolated, just sitting in my house writing all day and never,
Yeah.
But this is what I do. I'm not trying to go out and socialize and do other things.
Sure.
This is what I do. So this is what I love doing. But I just love doing it here. I get a lot more done and
Awesome. Well, look,
get to meet all you guys.
Yeah, we love having you. This is what Beachworks is all about. I mean, this is for me. I mean, in creating this, and we want this to be a resource for the community. We want this to be a flexible, affordable place that people can come in, and we've got all sorts of creative, driven folks here that are networking and finding their way. And I think when you're on the journey, it's hard to do things alone. I totally agree with that. I think to have the opportunity to have people around you that are intelligent and can offer insight that you may or may not think about. For me, to any of us, I'm saying I think that really is it's helpful for all of us, and I'm so happy to have you.
I love it here,
Yeah.
and it's
Awesome.
it's just great having an office to work at, and it's affordable for people like me who are. I mean, I'm just writing books and doing photography on the side, with my other work, and so it's just like a kind of I can't go get like a dedicated office or something.
So it gives it a way to kind of just bridge the gap. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
So kind of wrapping it up today, the legacy of your work, the creative Destin content, I guess call it. As I told you, no one has documented this coast like you. Not even close, and that's kudos to you. So I guess my last question to you is, what's next? Okay, and whatever you want to kind of wrap things up and say. I want to give you the last word, but starting with what's next, and.
Okay. So what's next? There's always things next. I have found that when you start creating things. Like I thought the bucket list would probably be the only thing I did because it was the only idea I had. But I found that once you start creating things, more ideas start to come. And so what's next for me is, I've done a lot with like blogging and informational stuff just because that's how I've always thought of myself. I always thought of the photography as was a way to supplement that. But now what's next is kind of moving into print books that are more about my photography and kind of showing Destin in pictures instead of like written information. So I'm working on like stuff like that, a coffee table book. And basically I believe in books, hardcover, like actual books. And I don't believe that every vacationer wants to read things on a digital screen. So I just, so even though when I first started all that, people told me that books are dead, I've never believed that. They're not dead for me, and I can't wait I'm putting together a book of like Destin photography just to kind of tell the story of Destin as I've seen it for the last 5 years. And then I have a journal I just released, which is just a blank notebook with my photos in it. And then there's something else on the horizon I'm not going to talk about yet, but it's actually my most exciting idea yet.
Oh, wow.
I'm so excited I think people are going to, I think it's going to, I'll talk about it soon.
Okay.
I've been working on it, but yeah, so just cool things to do, but more stuff that's kind of leaning a little more into my photography, as well as I've always got to give my tourist input too. But yeah, I think the only thing that I do want to say is it's very kind of you to say like I've done all this stuff and all that stuff, but I just kind of do a little bit at a time. So it seems like I get a lot done, but I just do a little bit each day. And I think that like anybody who wants to write a book or a tourist guide or they want to put something together, you just start doing it. Right. And that's what I did. And anybody can create things and have something going on the side. It's just a little bit, like I wrote that book. I mean, that's a simple book, but it did take me almost a year. But I just wrote a little bit each day. And I think that it's important to just know that I haven't really done, I haven't devoted I've done a lot of time. I just want to say like anybody can create things and put things together. Just take it small and just commit to doing a little bit each day. And it's like a brick by brick thing.
Absolutely.
And then suddenly I look at, I don't have a ton of stuff, but I look at what I've done and I'm like, oh, well, okay, I've got a little pile of things,
Absolutely. Look, it's one of the fundamental, I've talked on the show before about a book called The Slight Edge. I may have even told you about that before. That always influenced me. And it's not the huge things you do in a big vacuum. It's all the little things you do every day that don't make a difference that day one way or the other, but they add up and compound over time.
Yeah.
That can make a huge difference in whether you're going up or down in life and accomplishing things or not. And you're right. It's chipping away every day.
And you don't even have to know where you're going with anything. Like I started a blog. I had no idea I wanted to have a book or be a photographer or just anything. But anybody can start a blog and even like the digital technology stuff. Like you can learn how to do anything.
Right.
Like I've learned all this stuff. And I'm in my 40s. I'm not from the age of tech. When we had all this stuff. But I just learned it. And I just think that it's even if you just create little things on the side or start a blog and it's just been fun for me that's all that I wanted to do is just kind of have an idea and do it. And I don't, and I don't really the other thing I would say, and I guess I just want to get this out because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'd love to do something like that. And I would say, well, you can, you just got to start doing it. You just got to learn what you need to know. You have to have confidence in your ability to learn anything you need to know because you can figure literally anything out. And then start working on it and don't tell a lot of people and don't let people, when I wrote this book, I wrote it the entire time. I didn't tell a single person.
Wow.
And I told one person who said, nobody buys all those books. Like, can't you just find all that stuff online? I thought, okay, I'm not going to. That almost made me not write it.
Right.
But then I was like, you know what? I think people would like this. And it has. People, vacation rental owners, stuff have enjoyed having it. And that was all I wanted from it. So I guess I just want to say, you can figure anything out. You can do it. Don't let people tell you, that's a dumb idea or something like that.
Right.
I just
go for it.
Just do it, and just know that, anytime you're creating anything, people are gonna have something rude to say or something. Right. You just have to kind of just keep doing it. So.
That's awesome. Well, this has been a great show. I know you're a little nervous beforehand, but you did fantastic, and loved
Yeah.
having you here. Loved having
Like-
you as part of this. And look, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. It's been great having everybody, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.